Hello, everybody. Today we are here with another Art of Social Media Hangout, and we have a very special guest who is a totally different genre of social media. So you guys are going to be really excited today to learn from the one and only Daria Musk. She is a Google Plus darling. I'll put her on because she's so adorable, and she really changed her life with social media. So I can't wait for you guys to hear her story. I don't want to spoil anything, but she's amazing. And I, of course, have my co-host, Mr. Guy Kawasaki. In
Oh,
this
thanks for introducing me.
super swanky, I was waiting to see if you were going to say something. Sometimes you introduce me, you interrupt me. Mr. Kawasaki is chilling out at CES in the swanky Bellagio Hotel.
Yeah. This is not my ideal studio. I'll post a picture of what I had to do to get this effect. So it took me hours, and all my people and my people's people set this up. So
Looks cool.
so Daria, oh, thank you. Maybe I'll patent this effect. Let's start off, Daria. Just tell us your story. You have a great story, a social media success story.
Oh, sure. Okay. And it's so funny. Once this story happened, and I'll tell you, I swear I had one of those things where, like, I will be so proud to tell this story every day for the rest of my life because people are going to ask me for the rest of my life, and I'm more than happy to tell it for the rest of my life. And sometimes I go, that's the coolest story. Whose story is that? It doesn't even feel like me sometimes. Basically what happened is, so I'm a singer-songwriter for people who don't know, hi, and your face is reading and so I was just like pounding the pavement trying to play anywhere that I could, playing clubs, trying to do it like my heroes. I was avoiding things like American Idol and The Voice because I really wanted to be like Sting and like play CBGBs or something and do it the real way. And so one night a couple of years ago, I was playing this dive bar in the middle of nowhere. It was pouring rain. I'm lugging my amps through the rain. I'm getting drenched. There is a now sort of famous selfie, very pathetic me, like with an umbrella, like, this is my life. My life sucks. And this is after many, many years of doing this. I started when I was way too little to even get into the clubs. My parents and Big Brother and people would have to break me into these bars to be able to play. And my phone rang, and that same older brother, who is like a gamer sort of guy out in Silicon Valley now, called and said, hey, there's this new social network called Google Plus, and maybe you could be one of the first musicians on there. I thought that might help. And I was like, Google what? I'm getting drenched in the rain. I gotta go. And I hung up on him. And after playing for, like 4 people that night, I thought maybe I should check this thing out the next day. And when I did, I saw Hangouts, and I thought maybe I could use this to play a show without having to lug my amps through the rain. And now I've said that on like TED stages and Grammy stages and stuff, which is crazy, but that's what I thought. And so I got together with my producer, Ram, who's right over there, and we put the whole studio into the Hangout, and one night I opened up a Hangout and the whole world kind of showed up. I can sort of explain it, but it was, I think, just this wonderful kind of being in the right place at the right time, all that pounding the pavement in practice, meeting the opportunity, and it sort of went viral overnight. And then that ended up leading to the creation of Hangouts on Air and Google noticing and all that crazy stuff. So I'm sure we can get into the details of it, but that's the broad strokes.
That's amazing. And then should we segue over to you playing a song to see how it works on a Google Hangout, Daria?
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, wait. Either Guy and I could sing, or Daria. Let's see. Let's have Daria sing.
I can make you guys sing backup.
Actually, we both can sing, but not professionally.
Ooh, I can remember this for the next time we all hang out in person. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm more than happy to spice up this edition of the Art of Social, and I'm super excited to talk about all the social media stuff, and everybody watching, I'm sure we're going to give lots of stories and tips. And everybody who's watching this who's like new, I want you to know that I was not like an early adopter. I was not a social media, guru or anything before any of this stuff happened. And so I have a lot of fun stuff, I think, to share about just doing it organically and working with your audience and them becoming your friends and helping you out. I call my fans geniuses with a little G plus in it, not just because we met on G plus, but because they were so much better at all the tech stuff than I was, and together we ended up building something that Google turned into a product, which is crazy. So I know you're at CES, and I know we're talking about all of this stuff, all of this techie stuff. So I thought I'd do a cool version of sort of this teched out sort of song that I have called LED Heart. So in honor of all the tech that powers our hearts and connects us all over the world, this is LED Heart, and I can show you because I know people watching are into technology. This is the behind the scenes. There's my producer over there. The man behind the curtain. Okay.
Studio mode?
Yeah, I'm in it. And for people who want to know how to use Hangouts really well as a musician, I just switched to studio mode. So you guys might want to mute. And here we go. This is LED Heart.
Starting up the darkness, a mirror's just a window to you, you never knew. Jump a building 7 stories high, each chapter telling of my life. A way up, over and gone, our ancient history is doing nothing to die. And press my soul to the concrete, soles of my feet ache with the weight of the world. Shaking off the gold shoes, real news ain't who's dying, but who's living it up. And there's a world out there I wanna see. There's a you out there looking for me. Finally done with wondering, 'cause love will always know. And you're there glowing through the night. I feel so safe to be there, sleeping by
Wow. I think we should charge for this hangout.
Oh,
That
Daria,
was amazing.
Daria, something tells me that you probably would have made it without Google Plus.
oh.
Definitely.
Thank you. But I really did need it. I really did need something. I swear I'd been trying like everything. And it's funny how it seems like everybody just wants their voice to be heard. And maybe as a singer, it's the most obvious kind of personification of that. And so, yeah, I'm eternally grateful to this thing for happening. And it's funny because I always had this, like, I want to sing for people all over the world. I was always really inspired by music that was like pop and rock music that was globally inspired. I grew up loving the Police and Bjork and, Bobby McFerrin and stuff like that. And so this idea of being stuck in like these little local clubs never felt right. It was like this girl singing for like drunk dudes, and it just didn't work. And so this thing became my window to the world. And you can see I put in pins for the people that I've met face to face in Hangouts, and now I've actually played 3 continents in person because of this too. So I think it was like this perfect confluence of the things I had been dreaming about. And I remember, I don't think I've ever told this little story. I remember once, being like so bummed and so stressed and so, is it ever gonna work? And my mama saying like, honey, like, make the world come to you. And it's one of those moments where you're like, Mom, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you only think I'm good because you're my mom, and being so upset. And then my mom had the sassiest moment ever when it happened. She was like, what did I say? The world comes to you, showed up right in your laptop. So, yeah, there's something really, really crazy about that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Daria, let's talk a little bit about the technology, because I know you've worked with Google Plus and developed this special thing that you use so your music sounds awesome. Can you explain about how you worked with Google Plus and what that technology is?
Absolutely, yeah. And so I should say, again, like, shout out to all the geniuses, these fans, because when the Hangouts started, it was really, this was beta Google Plus. Guy remembers, I'm sure you remember. So Hangouts were like this perfect underground club. Hangouts were my cave club, like for the Beatles, where only 10 people could get in. There was no outward-facing window to watch. And then there's an amazing guy named Moritz, an amazing guy named Cam, and people who became these early fans who were like, let's push this through Ustream, and let's now push this through YouTube Live. And it was then, when we got it through YouTube Live, it became these embeddable, shareable, live YouTube videos, right? And that's what became Hangouts on Air. That was when Google was kind of like, what are you doing? You're breaking our thing, and it's kind of awesome. Can you come out to the headquarters right now? And that was my first time meeting with engineers and having them pick our brains, which was very funny. And when we were there, they asked, what can we do to help you? What else do you need? And we had realized at this point that while we thought the music sounded good, because we were listening to it through our headphones coming off of the soundboard, when fans were doing like early bootlegged YouTube videos of the Hangouts, we would listen back to what they were hearing, and it sounded like my voice was sort of okay, but it sounded like the music was being flushed down a toilet because it had all of the noise cancellation stuff on it, and it thought it was all background noise and was trying to pull it out. So that ended up, by the way, side note, being awesome for us playing live, because everywhere we go, people go, you got so much better, which is good. It's at a really low bar. It's wonderful. But so we said, please make high fidelity sound, for music. And so now for everyone, and it's just in Hangouts on Air, you can go into the little gear, the little settings gear, and go, and then you'll see voice, and that's for like talking like this. I switched back to it, and then if you click that drop down, you'll see something called Studio, and that's what you want to use when you're using music. And it turns off all of the noise canceling stuff, so you want to have your fans mute so it doesn't get echoey, but then boom, you've got full concert audio coming right through your laptop, which is pretty sick.
It was amazing.
So you're kind of the mother of Hangouts on Air, then?
I guess I am. That's funny. That's the first time I've been called that. Yes, I guess I am. I like that. Yeah, and I'm completely obsessed with it. It gets cooler and cooler every day, and you know, I've been, you know, spending time at like the new YouTube space in New York and places like that. And right now I'm really obsessed with this beautiful sort of sister nation thing between Google Plus and Hangouts and YouTube, because Hangouts are a video platform and they do live on YouTube, and I don't think people know that. And YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, and everybody's into YouTube, and so there's some really cool, like, I'm planning some fun things with that combo, and but yeah, there's nothing that does this, and where you can broadcast and connect at the same time. And I have to tell you, at the beginning I was really worried that like all the superstars were right behind me about to steal this under me. Like, I don't know if you remember like will.i.am did one really early on, and I was literally sitting there that night like crying, like will.i.am stole my thing, you know. I was like so sad. But what was interesting was that none of those superstars who have used it, and I love that they've used it, none of them use it the way I do. They use it kind of like fly on the wall or behind the scenes, or a very pre-planned, like, this is orchestrated and I'm going to have a conversation with this one person. Whereas the thing that I've always done with them is open it up as wide as I can and let fans and people and everybody come in, and then I sing for you, and I'm inspired by your faces, and I never read a set list, I just pick songs based on your stories, you know, and then these unbelievable moments happen, and I get to sort of see the world through everybody's laptop windows, and so it's been a really remarkable kind of global trip. It's been really amazing.
And why don't you think other artists, established artists, have embraced this? Is it because they want to monetize every single thing they do, or?
You know, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. That might be part of it. And it's interesting with all of the excitement. You know, I was, like I said, I think I said it before we went live. I have to say to everyone, you know, I've had the honor of getting to know Guy and Peg for a little while, and then I binge watched all these Guy videos last night and got all like excited and nervous, like, oh my God, I forgot that he's like this huge deal. And so yeah, I think that it's interesting. What I was going to say is, in one of your videos you talk about like that everything's on the next curve, and I think right now music is trying to find that next curve, and I think we kind of found it. I think it's sort of like in this. I think live concerts and live interaction with your fans is really kind of partly where it is. And it's interesting how the death grip of the old model is still kind of hanging on. So the big stars that we think of, I don't know how many of them are really, really under the control of their labels and their managers and their agents, and I don't have that kind of stuff bogging me down, which is at first I thought was a big disadvantage, and now I kind of see it as this really big advantage, and it's really liberating, and I'm my own boss and I get to make all the decisions, which is really fun. So yeah, I've met people, even people like my age, who have been signed and dropped, who can't play their own music in a Hangout because they don't own the rights to their own music.
Seriously?
Yeah, like that's crazy, and those are the kinds of mistakes that I really steered away from. I started my own publishing company with my producers. We own 200% of every song, and you know, that kind of stuff. So the entrepreneurial side of it, I've started to call myself an artistpreneur, and I think there's a lot of us out there, not just in music, but this whole kind of generation of kids who are making what they love, what they do, and then figuring out how to make money doing that. And I think, in a weird way, that's the only reliable job there is now, is to kind of cut a hole in the universe that's shaped just like you, so that only you can fill it, and so that's what I'm sort of always trying to do. But to answer your question, yeah, I don't know if it's the monetization, or also it takes a lot of love and attention, and I think a lot of like genuine interest in people. It's funny, I have that sort of history of like, you know, not being popular in school. I was sort of an extrovert trapped like an introvert. No, I swear, like I was eating lunch in the choir room kind of a thing, like hiding from the cool kids. But I was always fascinated by people, and I was always very much an extrovert, and I think that materialized in my artisty nature. But for me, it's like I'm catching up on all these years of social. I mean, we're talking about the art of social. I'm catching up on a social life that I feel like I never, you know, got to have. Like I feel like I have like millions of friends now, and I'm genuinely like obsessed with these cool, wonderful people that I meet all over the world, and they're kids, and they're grown-ups, and they're older people, and they're, you know, every nationality and gender and everything you could think of. And I feel like I'm getting this amazing crash course in humanity by getting to meet these people. And so I think, I don't know, maybe I have some weird fascinated with people gene, and maybe that's part of what makes me an artist, but I love meeting all the people that come in, and so all the little extra work that I have to do to follow people back and invite them, and there are definitely a lot of steps, to make it happen, to get everyone the invite. But once that happens and I open it up, then it's like a big lottery. Whoever clicks on the button gets in, and so I'm surprised and they're surprised, and it's incredibly thrilling,
Well, and what's your overall social media sort of strategy these days? Are you purely Google Plus? Are you using other platforms? How does it all fit in and work together?
Yeah. So at the beginning, I just was focusing entirely on Google Plus because it was all happening so fast. I didn't have any time for anything else. I wasn't even sleeping like the first year that this happened because someone's always awake, when your thing is global, somebody's always awake, which is dangerous and awesome. But so now I obviously I've diversified. I'm, like I said, really excited about YouTube because YouTube has become such a huge player in music, and I know the higher ups at YouTube have some really cool plans for what's going on with music right now, and I'm excited to watch and in my own way influence and be a part of that stuff. So those are my the two things that I think are the most exciting to me and mean the most to me are probably YouTube and Google Plus. But I take, you guys know everything is so visual, so I take a lot of photos, so I have a lot of fun with Instagram, and then I like the immediacy of Twitter. I think everybody does, so I definitely tweet. Facebook I don't use that much. I kind of push my Instagram photos to Facebook, and I'm like, there. I don't think, personally to me, Facebook doesn't seem to have that much to offer to musicians. Facebook for me was like the idea of what I had to break out of. That was where everybody knew me from school and knew me as the dorky girl who ate lunch in the choir room. Like there was no way for those people to be fans of my music, and know me that way. So Google Plus for me was this beautiful fresh start where I got to sort of reinvent or just reintroduce myself and be the me that I wanted to be and that I thought that I was. So Facebook is. It's okay, but I honestly don't spend any time on there.
So can we talk a little bit about the YouTube? I know that they have one in LA too, but they have that. It's like a new maker studio. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but is it the maker studio? Okay, and because YouTube does a great thing with helping new people learn how to use it, and they have built their own special thing, which. YouTube, you should invite me to the one in New York. But anyway, Daria, since you've been there, tell us about it.
It's cool. Anybody can sign up to go to these things, and we should go together. If you're in New York, that'd be super fun. Opened up this new space in New York City. They have YouTube Space LA, which is the one that you see a lot of broadcasts from, the really big space. I think there's one in London and one in Tokyo and one in somewhere else. I forget. But the one in New York is brand new, and it's right in my favorite neighborhood in New York, right in the sort of meatpacking district.
Oh, I love meatpacking. I love it.
Yeah, it's so cool. And speaking of wanting to play CBGBs, okay, this is my goal, right? I have to tell my friends there that they need to let me play this room. They bought some of the walls from CBGBs. And
wow.
So they've got all the graffiti and beer spilled on them and all sorts of crazy things. So that history, they've kind of put a lot of emphasis into music, I think, and so it'll be exciting to sort of merge these two worlds, I think, is one of the things that I'm excited about in this new year. I'm actually, it's really exciting. So I'm finally working on my first real album. Everybody online kept me so busy the last couple of years that I didn't have a chance to make a real record. So this is a really, really, really exciting moment that I've been just dreaming of my whole life. And so I wanted to document it and use all the multimedia stuff that I've fallen in love with and all of the interactive stuff that I've fallen in love with. So there's going to be a show that's going to happen, and I'm very excited about it. I'm sort of become a producer of my own album and of a show now all at the same time, which sounds like a roundabout way of doing things, but it just made sense to capture everything and pull it into these really cool little episodes. And so all that's going to be happening sort of on YouTube and simultaneously in other places, but that's going to be the main home of it. So that's part of my strategy for the new year is to ship, right? To CEOs ship guys videos, to ship a lot of really cool content and a lot of really cool new music and do it in a really interactive way, because that's what I've come to know and love. And I really think that's that's the beauty of this new, like I said, this sort of new generation. I guess we're the millennials or the artistpreneurs or whatever, and there's this thing about being inclusive instead of exclusive, and inspirational and aspirational and collaborative, and this sort of we all succeed together, and I just love that, and I'm really, really proud to be a part of that. I feel like that generation that we're sort of standing up and saying, the old model of like the Highlander, there can be only one, and like voting people off the island is so uninteresting. It's so uninteresting at this point. It's so passé. It's so not cool. And the way that people succeed by collaborating together online, on YouTube, on all social media, sharing each other's stuff, making cool stuff together. This, I think, is both the present and the future. I think that's another part of that next curve, So, yeah, that's what I'm excited about.
Any tool tips you want to tell the audience about? Stuff that makes your life better, easier, faster, cheaper?
Yeah, well, absolutely. In fact, there's one that I should totally mention, because I know that, Guy, you're involved with Canva, and you were the one who told me about them. And so, no, I don't know if you were purposefully asking me to say that. I have lots of other things, but
Daria, I don't do anything by accident.
I know, but I have become, honestly, I didn't even know where you were going with that. I have become completely obsessed with Canva. I swear, this is, so for people who don't know, although if you're fans of Guy, you probably know, but Canva is this really cool design tool online that's free that you can sort of just really easily drop things in and make beautiful looking content. And we all know the web, the internet is so visual, and so I never post without a photo, and I make all my own, like Peg was saying earlier, all my own thumbnails and all my own stuff, because you want to create a mood and an aesthetic, and music has always had that with album covers and stuff, and I think now there is a template for making your own like MP3 covers, album covers, which is so cool. And so I've been using it to make all my online concert posters and all of that stuff, and it's so fun, and it takes all the guesswork out of having to figure out the right dimensions for all your different profiles and stuff. So that I've been using obsessively, and I'm completely in love with it. And then let's see, other things. I mean, like you said, I'm sort of the Hangout girl, so I'm glad everyone knows how to use studio mode now. If you're watching and you're a musician and you want to do that, remember, just click into that gear and go in there. And yeah, I think other than that, I mean, I'm sort of never without my iPhone, and and I'm constantly, what I do? I'm always using the voice recorder, the voice memos. If you go through if you go through my voice memos, it's just songs. It's songs and snippets and things that I don't remember singing, at like 3 in the morning, and it just goes on and on and on. It's just, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff in there, and so that's a really fun tool.
What other apps do you love? What other apps do you love on your iPhone?
I was actually just going to say, I've recently, I know I'm a little late to this one, I've recently fallen in love with Evernote, because I realized I can pull the audio and then the lyrics from my notes, and then pick, and all this sort of stuff. So now I have little Evernote booklets for like all of the songs that I'm working on for the album, and pulling them all together, and so that's been really, really fun. And actually, I just got a LiveScribe pen. Do you guys know about those? Mm-hmm. Those are so cool.
No.
I'm so obsessed with this thing. I just got it.
I got the one that goes with Evernote, the Jot script. It's the same thing, right? Where you can write on it.
I just got the audio one. So it's a pen. It's a big pen. You have to get used to using it. But it's a big pen that it captures the audio of what's going on while you're writing.
Wow.
And then you touch the writing and hear back what was playing or what you were saying. So I think they were intending it for people like, in lectures, like taking notes, and then what did the teacher say when I did that? And you can literally like do a doodle and then just hear back what the person was saying if you want. But for me, I was starting to write lyrics and singing, like humming into my pen, and then hit it back, and it plays like some sort of Harry Potter awesomeness come to life, and I'm like, this is the thing, this is so cool. So I'm actually trying to figure out a way to put that into the show that I'm doing, or even like share those files with people so that they can explore on their own in an interactive way and click on the lyrics and then hear me humming the first ideas, because there's something really weird and magical about watching the words come to life in the moment that they were conceived. It's really, really cool. So that's another new tool that I like a lot.
Imagine if Martin Luther King had that pen, huh?
Right? Think of the things we would capture, and everybody should get that thing. It's really.
I was thinking of like the Beatles writing their songs, you know.
I know, right? Right? I know. And
That's
there's a new app. I don't think it's launched yet, but I've gotten involved with these cool guys. They called me up and they were like, "Will you take a look at this? And is this as cool as we think it is?" And it's called they're called Giga Entertainment Media. And they've got this app that's going to be new for the iPad that like I said, I think maybe the beta's out, but it's a multitasking multimedia thing, so you can pull in many different windows and see them all at once. And I saw it and was immediately like, ooh, I could have my Hangout, and then I could have like a Twitter chat going on at the same time, and then I could have like people posting pictures or reactions and have it all together, and you can sort of plan out your whole little sort of artist palette of things that you like, and then people can subscribe to that, kind of like a channel. So that's another thing I think I'm going to be using in this new year that will be fun, because I can sort of share this big content stream all curated, you know, and so that'll be fun to play with too. Yeah, I think people will like it.
Read any good books lately?
Let's see. Just the other night, I was enjoying the art of social media by Kawasaki and Peg. It is actually really wonderful. The book that we were all here to. Oh, I left it in the other room. You inscribed it for me. It's so sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, I've been really digging it, and I learned a couple of. There it is. I learned a couple of really cool things. And then what else am I reading? Oh, I'm reading a few other things too. I'm reading Sting's autobiography, or it's sort of not what you would expect. It's like an autobiography of his early life, like his childhood and stuff, called Broken Music. Mm-hmm. And I just saw him on Broadway, so that was really, really fun. So I've been reading that and been very into it. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, Daria, one of the high points of my entire social media path has been getting to know you. You just just bring a smile to my face, Daria.
Oh, I love you. I feel the same way. Thank you so much. I seriously, it was so sweet watching your videos last night and going like, this guy's my friend, I don't believe it. I'm like, I'm going to do everything he says. And like, it was actually really fun to translate. It's really fun to translate your talks and your advice into the music world. I think it's interesting. So because all of this crazy stuff happened, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of really cool things that not only would I have never dreamed, but were so outside of my paradigm I didn't even know they existed, like Google Zeitgeist or something like that. And I remember being there at one point and, realizing I was maybe preparing myself for maybe if I got to where I wanted to be one day I could be starstruck by, like the stars that I like a Sting, when he came out on stage I was like, oh my God, I'm in the same room, and Sting. He's right there. But instead I'm going like, how do you say hi to Malcolm Gladwell? Oh my God, what do you do? Like
I said, hello, Mr. Gladwell. I was like, I super was like, ugh.
Like, what do you do in that moment? And
we should give Malcolm Gladwell a gift certificate to Dry Bar.
That's hysterical. Actually, you know what?
You can't touch it. It's so great.
His hair is hysterical. What's really funny is due to awesome Google Plus technology, when I met Malcolm Gladwell, one of my friends was taking my picture, and it made a little awesome video of it. So I'm I said something that he thought was funny, so he laughed. So instead of me looking like, he was like, oh, you're so funny. And I was like, that's amazing. It was like the perfect, 3 frames where I looked like maybe I was interesting to Malcolm Gladwell.
Oh, that's funny. I love that. That's fantastic. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You should have pushed Malcolm Gladwell off his chair. Then you could have said you made him tip.
It was the tipping point of my humor.
Honestly, the tipping point. Boom. That would be terrible.
That's funny.
I brought up Zeitgeist because I'll just sneak this in real fast because maybe to end it, what was exciting to me, and I was just saying, I was loving translating, Guy, your advice into sort of musical terms and music industry stuff for myself. And one of the things that hit me when I was there was the difference between startup culture and music culture. And you're sort of raised, I think, in music unless you're a little bit luckier, like I was. I was not a prodigy by any means, and my parents definitely remember me singing very out of tune for a long time. But you're sort of raised with this idea of like, you're either good at it or you're not. You either break out and are a huge success by some grace of God, or you don't, and there's not a lot else you can do about it. And if you mess up, you're so toast, right? And once I started hanging out with people in the tech world, I started to get familiarized with this idea of failure is a part of learning, and like, oh, if you haven't lost your first million and made a second one, you're not even a real millionaire, like that, those kinds of ideas. And all of a sudden I was thinking, musicians, bands, new artists are startups. We're startups. You need to invest all this time and sometimes a lot of money if you want gear, and put in all this energy, and you have to trust it. And like you said in that TED Talk that I loved, you have to believe it before you see it. And I think maybe that's one of the best tips. That's your tip, and something I would share for everybody too. Is like, it didn't happen until I just gave myself permission to believe it before I saw it, and then all of a sudden stuff started to come together. So I think there's a lot that musicians can learn from the tech world, and we should take those things and own them, and not be ashamed of the idea of wanting to make money making your art, and stuff like that. I've been saying on stage lately, like, there's no more selling out, there's only buying in, because like, why should that be crass? To make a living off of what you do. I'm really passionate about that. So there's all sorts of great things I think musicians can learn from that sort of tech universe. And so I've been a very, very grateful, like, sort of honorary member of that family now. Yeah.
Fantastic. I know Peg wants to end this, but I got to ask you one more question. Have you bought your Audi yet?
Have I what?
Have you bought your Audi yet?
I haven't. I totally thought they were going to give us Audis. We went to an Audi event together. Okay, I must be doing something wrong. I did something with Audi, I did something with Chevy, and no cars. Where are my cars?
No.
The most they do is lend you one for a couple weeks, Daria.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's okay. In fact, no. It's, what I need? I need to find out if I'm related to Elon Musk, right? Like, I'm.
Yeah, exactly. You should be driving a Tesla.
I know. It's like, I need to befriend someone from like Ancestry.com, and then I need to find out if we're related, and then I need to call him and be like, I'm your long lost niece, and I love you, and I need a Tesla.
That was the first thing my husband said. Is she related to Elon? I'm like, nope.
I hope. I've never met another Musk. There can't be that many of us. I don't know.
Right.
You should tell people that you're from the creative side of the Musk family.
It's funny.
That's great.
Well, I am going to wrap it up because we are over the 12:30 mark. But obviously, Daria, you are fascinating, and we could spend all day. Your story is amazing, and I wish you so much luck with everything that you do. Not that you need it because you're doing it yourself, but and if there's anything that I can ever do, or if I can do on Guy's behalf, let me know. And thank you. Your concert was amazing, so thank you so much. And it was really cool to be on the inside and hear what it sounded like to be in the studio. That was really awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me, you guys.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Let me know where you are in the world so we can hang out in person again.
All right. See you later. Take care, Mario.
Bye.
Bye.